Welcome back. Brittany Higgins has been ordered to pay 80% of Linda Reynolds' legal bills in the wake of their blockbuster defamation ruling. And joining me now is senior reporter at The Australian, Paul Garvey. Paul, we don't know exactly how much Reynolds' legal bills total, but do you expect they'll exceed at least $1 million?
Almost certainly. So what we do know is on the day of the defamation judgment, Linda Reynolds spoke to the media and she mentioned in those comments that she'd spent millions of dollars on this legal fight. So if we take her at her word and assume the bare minimum there is $2 million, then 80% of that gets you to a pretty chunky number pretty fast, in excess of 1.5 million. So that certainly seems to pass muster when you talk to other people in the legal fraternity about the cost of these sort of defamation actions, and it's certainly a substantial amount of money.
So could any of this have been avoided if Brittany Higgins had apologised?
Yeah, that was the other really interesting thing that came out of the cost order that came out the other night was some detail around a last-minute settlement offer from Brittany Higgins to Linda Reynolds. We got quite a bit of detail around that, and it included, so this is about 3 days before the trial was due to begin, a written offer offering to cover a portion of Linda Reynolds' legal costs, but also issue this statement of mutual regret. So short of a proper apology as one might expect an apology to look like, it was very much a qualified statement with each party expressing their belief in what they did at the time, and it was really characterised by Linda Reynolds' lawyers as a agree to disagree statement, and that's what the court happened to agree with, that this fell well short of what we'd expect an apology to actually look like.
And that's what Linda Reynolds wanted, a retraction or apology, or was it more? I mean, I think it has been more meaningful to her, this judgment, because it has cleared her, vindicated her.
Yeah, look, I think if you caught Linda Reynolds at a candid moment, I think she'd probably prefer the outcome she got than the outcome that would have avoided this trial, because the findings did exonerate her around that grand conspiracy notion. It's debunked that again. She's won a handy damages offer amount, as well as getting her bulk of her costs covered here as well. So she's gone through that process. She managed to find her avenue to air all her concerns about this matter. So I think she would be quite happy with it. Brittany Higgins, on the other hand, someone who's attempting to rebuild their life in the wake of this incident, she's now, if this payment is honoured, you'd think that the bulk of anything left over from the Commonwealth settlement will actually now disappear in legal bills, which is a pretty sad outcome on a lot of fronts.
What do you think about Higgins' ability to actually pay this amount, 80% of Linda Reynolds' legal costs?
Yeah, so it was one thing that also came out of this cost order was the judge mentioning that this offer on the eve of the trial to settle the matter, Brittany Higgins' parents were going to pay $200,000 towards Linda Reynolds' costs to help settle this matter without it going to trial. So, I mean, that shows, I guess you could read into that there's not a whole lot of cash readily accessible for Ms. Higgins. She received that Commonwealth settlement a few years ago. That went straight into a trust. We know that she bought that home in France, which has since been put up for sale, if not sold already. So there's not a whole lot of liquid cash sitting there for Ms. Higgins to pay towards this.
Paul, really appreciate your expertise in reporting on this. Thank you.